Hello guys, and welcome back to another ASMR video. I'm aware I haven't uploaded in about 10 months, and it's personal reasons as to why that happened, and I'm not really sure I have an upload schedule, but whenever I get the free time, I will try to, bring you guys what you want. So, today we're going to be covering the book of Halo, as I'd found it recently, the Halo Encyclopedia. It's a massive book holding a lot of stuff in it, and today we're going to be covering the Halo forms, Flood forms actually. So those who don't know, the Flood are a kind of virus from space in a way, or a pathogen that relies on infecting hosts and increasing its biomass. Once it has reached a sufficient biomass, it can create a thing called a grave mind and a proto mind. And once that all happens, the Flood becomes intelligent and it can pilot spaceships, it can crash them, it can do large scale assaults. But at the start, they are completely dumb. They rely on instinct to infect and destroy. So today we're going to be covering mainly the Flood section and maybe more when it comes to it. So let us start off here. Pure form. The pure form of the Flood develops within a host once sufficient biomass has been infected and the grave mind that sustains the Flood infestations is developed. Flood can reproduce without infection. This form can mutate into various subforms referred to as Stalker, Ranged, or Tank, and can mutate between the three depending on the necessities of combat. As you can see, this is the Flood form, or the Tank form. It is very big. It has one small arm, two big legs, and a connected interpiece. You can see the basis of where the original Flood form is, or the infection form. It also has a massive arm for hitting people in these two. I'm aware that my phone is on shadow here, so you know, it's all good. Don't worry about it. As you can see in this scenario, we have the Master Chief attacking a combat form, and when the when the Flood has been shot or is bleeding, it's a mix of pussy, mucousy blood. It's not very nice. As you can see over here, we have one of the most horrific mutations of Flood next to proto minds and stuff like that. As you can see in this location, the human here, his head has been moved back down his spine, and he has the bases of his legs, but he's been torn open. Bits of his rib cage has been used to make spikes it can fire. It's not nice. It can obviously hurt people a lot, and these guys are quite a problem throughout Halo 3, which is, funny enough, the only Halo they've been in so far. Halo 3 really did focus on the Flood for a big amount with the whole of Cortana's story. After that, obviously different things happened. The Flood went dormant, and we got new things in Halo Wars 2 that brought them back, like those weird things that had the giant stretchy arms. Still don't really know much about them, even though I should, but I don't. So yeah, this is all of the stuff on the book. Nice bit of tapping action. Right, let's move on to the second one. So, this is, well, most of these tentacles are from the scene of Halo 3, after the Gravemind says he will be your friend in a way, but he only uses you to kill the Prophet of Truth, I believe. And once that's happened, he betrays you and tries to kill you. I'll read out information on the Grave Mind right now. There's a lot of big words here. The Grave Mind is the all-incapacitating intelligence of the flood. It is assumed to be the highest state of transformation that a flood form can achieve. It is believed that once a critical mass of flood forms has been fused together in both body and mind, a grave mind form is created. Intelligence. The Grave Mind assumes a centralized sentient intelligence that is believed to lead the general flood species through the symbiotic or telepathic means. Is intent on propagating the flood species through combat as well as delusion, I don't know what that word is, and ultimately betrayal, leading back to the Halo 3 killing of truth, It also appears to hold all of the flood's memories, even those of individual organisms and all of the previous grave minds. It is fully capable of directing the overall flood species and manipulating others to do its bidding. Little thing I'm going to mention here from my own lore collection. The flood has two ways of breaking someone's mind. Actually, no, three when you think about it. The most common one is it will infect you and you'll go crazy and you'll just be controlled anyway. You can't move. It's basically become you. You're still there, but it breaks your spine, breaks your neck. You can't feel anything, and then you're just forced to be this form. It's horrible. Number two. I know, actually, to think about it, you can probably have three, so there's no name for the second one. It's more just it uses its advanced knowledge to bring someone to a faulty conclusion, and its extreme charismatic knowledge to make someone believe that the flood is not all that bad and that it will work for the flood and it helps them. Number three, is the Logic Plague. The Logic Plague is vastly known throughout everyone in Halo, pretty much. It is what they use on AIs, and whenever an AI is captured, they will use the Logic Plague to infect them and force them, basically taking advantage of the fact that it's an AI, and will use its abilities to make them believe that the flood is all good and use logic from the past. That's why it's known as the Logic Plague, to basically make them on the flood side, which isn't good because it happened to people like Cortana. We believe happened to Cortana, you never know, but many oracles have been attacked by it and it's done horrible things. I believe there was a Forerunner AI that fell victim to was it Jewel Mandama? No, that's an Elite. It was a giant Forerunner AI, one of the, it was a class, I can't remember, it was the highest class of Forerunner AI had. It was very, very big and had a lot of control over everything, but it fell victim to the Logic Plague, which ultimately led to the Forerunners having to activate rings, and, is the future. So, yes, there can be only one grave mind at a time, so if one is killed, another may form shortly thereafter. If the flood retains sufficient biomass, it appears that one existed over 1,100 years ago, but was destroyed by the first firing of the Halo ring. Yes, there was a long time ago a mind. It infected the whole Forerunner place, and that was the firing of the rings, as I mentioned. Ooh, got a bit more tapping. There we go. Right. Let's look at this quote. I have beaten fleets of thousands, consumed a galaxy of flesh and mind and bone. It's correct, he has consumed galaxies, he's consumed entire planets, he's consumed flesh and bone and mind, because he gets the mind of whoever he infects. The Forerunners, this moves into the guys that ultimately, I would say, lost the Flood War, but maybe not. It was a temporary stalemate activating the rings. It didn't really make them win, but it stopped the flood. Well, it didn't. It was an attempt to kill all of them, but we all know that's not what happened. The Flood are very, very good at what they do. That's why they've survived so long, over 100,000 years, but I regress. Yes, as it mentions here in this one, over 100,000 years ago, the Milky Way galaxy, there was the Forerunners, and Flood attacked. This is the mantle, I believe. Big important building. 2 of the Forerunners passed. More Forerunner stuff here. You'll notice that they have a distinct art style of how their things work, a lot of cubish-like things. This is just more things. Actually, no, I'll read this. So, the Forerunners first encountered the Flood was on the planetary Sydney, where it infected unknown civilians and penetrated the Forerunners' planetary defense group in one Australian Forerunner held planet on LE-15, but managed to avoid the Forerunner with a fleet infested planet below, although its first invading creature back with occasional numerical superior. Billions of forms were dedicated to its soul. Every member of the Forerunner population considered a viable potential new Flood form. Even though the Forerunners had finally run for massive as a single Flood infection from the mate of the Lions, entire battles were lost. In desperate measures, the Forerunners' army was formed immediately, being following bombardment of physical walls. Many Forerunners were able to evacuate before the body commenced. This was a psychic victory from the military. They were killing theory. This was psychic victories from the Forerunner military who were killing there, and people were safe. And there was bombardment and altitude by navigation of Forerunners, populated centers, and committing mass suicide. Yeah. So basically, the Forerunners had to take drastic action to prevent any Flood getting through, which means killing their own citizens, which obviously isn't the nicest thing to do. You should really think about it, and I'm sure they did. They had a lot coming at them. I don't necessarily blame them. It is stuff like that can be bad. Battling the Flood. The Halo Array. In order to bring about this drastic measure and wipe out the rampaging Flood's 7 ring-light installations known as the Halos were built across the galaxy. When they activated, they would wipe out all sentient life within the free radio of the Milky Way galaxy centre by sending out a harmonic frequency telling the cells in the system of any significance. Yes. It effectively, when the weapon launched, any nervous system cells would be eradicated. So people wouldn't die, they'd just go brain dead. So it left back the past, maybe left. So it didn't kill all life necessarily, I don't think, don't quote me on this, but things that didn't necessarily have a nervous system would have survived, like trees, a bit of bacteria, and I don't believe infection forms actually have nervous systems. Maybe they do, because obviously that'd be a big flaw if the main infector didn't even die during it. Now, if we look here, activation of the Halo Array. Okay. After the failure of the additional military efforts to stop the effect of the Flood, the Halo Array was activated by the Forerunners and mission to galactic destruction. After the Star Forward died off, planets were assessments of life and forms in the shadow of the Forerunner civilization decided to leave the galaxy. Their final destination and current status will remain unknown. A few Flood specimens were kept in state-of-the-art high technology Forerunner research facilities in the Halo nations. They brought the study, however, files eventually unraveled the mysterious of their origin. They stored stasis from the Forerunner and reached the Covenant Station 4. Cryo. It's prevalent throughout Halo's thing. It was in Halo 4. It was in here. They love cryo. Can be quite useful, I suppose, freezing yourself. Yes, this was a big part of Halo 3. This was through one of the scenes, and you went with Guilty Spark. I believe his name is guy from number 1. I can't remember, because it was Guilty Spark in Combat Evolved. And then he betrayed you. Did he betray you? I cannot remember. He did in Halo 3 because he tried to kill Sergeant Johnson. He did kill Sergeant Johnson. I think it's Johnson, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. In Combat Evolved, I remember Cortana says about how the Halo rings kill everyone and stuff like that. So, yeah. It was definitely in Halo 3. I know this was in Halo 3. I remember it. Monitors. Let's talk about these. So, monitors. The Halo Array was maintained by a set of monitors and possible other artificial intelligence. They had specific protocols and only enough knowledge to complete their mission. Activating the Halo array in the case of a flood outbreak, these limitations were in place that if any IA fell prey to the Gravemind, it could not surrender the locations of the other installations. These monitors have exhibited odd characteristics like the recognition of human beings and, what does that say, eccentricities that are hard to explain through normal AI failures such as degeneration and rampancy. To those who don't know what rampancy is, it's old age. I believe through ages 10 to 11, AIs will start to experience rampancy, which is basically where they learn too much, go crazy. It's not nice. It's what's happened to Cortana, we believe, or Logic Plague. She was with, since Halo 2 to Halo 3 and a lot long forward, she was only with the Gravemind. She was in one of their biggest holdouts for a long time. It's highly likely she fell prey to it. Yeah. He holds the battle of all the installations, 04, which is probably one of the most common, 01, 02, 03. Yes, that is actually Guilty Spark right there. He's on Halo 3, and he betrays you, not a nice guy. And why I say not a nice guy, because they're all based off previous humans, these guys. So, in a way, they're human, but they're not. It's strange. Don't rely on my lore here. I mean, pretty sure you can still buy this book. It's quite old. It only goes up to Halo Reach. So it's quite an old book, and some things have changed, but I will try to fill in any knowledge gaps I have with anything that isn't here, so people know about it, or if something changed, I will point it out. Yeah, so installation 04B, I didn't actually know that was a thing. Installation 5, 6, and 7. There's many installations, many. This one, I believe this was in Halo Wars 2, if I'm correct. I swear it was. Maybe Halo 5. I'm not. It's been a long time since I've actually done Halo. I have another quote here. The dark times are upon us. Unsheath thy swords and smite. The Ark will be your guide, and the blessed are reclaimers that may take refuge behind the sharpened edge of the shield. Wanderer beyond awaits. Okay. Yes, they put a lot of things on Earth as well. They didn't just stick to the rings. So, the silent Quartographer over there. You guys can have a look. Feel free to pause the video if you want to. I would try and get the shadow out of the way, but you can see all that. So, yeah, it's out of Halo 3. All the stuff there. I believe that was out of Halo 4 or 5. Maybe 3, I'm not entirely sure. Many of these things come back to the Halo games. Tragic Love, I'm not entirely sure. I know the Ditact, but none of the other stuff, so I'm not going to go over it. This is the scene I remember. This is where Guilty Spark turns bad. He turns red. And, funnily enough, over here, this is from the scene of Halo 2, where he has an oracle that he has infected with the Logic Plague, and has basically asked it lots of stuff. If you look over here, we have a thing on the Guilty Spark, which I'm going to read. So, Alliance, Forerunner. Species, Artificial Intelligence. Role, Monitor of Installation 04. A construct of the Forerunners free from Guilty Spark was left on the Installation 04 when it departed centuries ago. His purpose was to maintain age in the structure of Halo, protect his facilities. Sorry guys, the camera's shaking a bit. Protect his facilities, monitor events and contain any outbreaks by the Flood. Guilty Spark appears to have a sense of humour, but he is utterly serious about the rules. For him, protocol comes before everything. Emotions or feelings or anything as soon as inconveniences. However, when Guilty Spark becomes rampant, protocols can be overridden by self-preservation. The Covenant knows Guilty Spark as the Oracle, whereas the humans he is the Monitor. He played a major role in containing the Flood and was responsible for initiating the heretic movement within the Covenant. The real irony of Guilty Spark is that after failing to safeguard and fire Installation 04, he sees the truth into a band of elites above the threshold. Those elites, becoming heretics, eventually cause the chain reaction through the Covenant into disarray. With the alien collective reeling from their own civil war, humanity and the Least were able to eliminate the Prophet of Truth and stop the rings from being fired. By these actions, 343 Guilty Spark ensured his own demise at the hands of Master Chief and the Arbiter. He was killed by a Spartan laser. It was very satisfying, actually. He was funny, I'll admit, he had some good lines, but if he's got to go, he's got to go. At the end of the day. More stuff here. This guy. This is who you had to fight at the bit with where you had an alliance with the Flood. Fun time. A little tap. It's a very nice tap sounds, this book, hasn't it? Very nice. This is not reclamation. The Oracle boomed. This is Reclaimer. As the Prophet of Truth. I will zoom in on that there. There you go. See? I was right. It was the Prophet of Truth. I think. I'm sure that says Prophet of Truth. It does. Maybe it doesn't link up to it. I'm not entirely sure. The Human Covenant War. We all really know about that. Actually, I think this is a good place to end the video. So, I hope you all have really enjoyed this of a 21-minute video. Well, it's 21 as I'm saying, this probably gets 22. I hope this relaxed you, or maybe you're asleep right now. In that case, sleep tight, the big words bite, and I'll see you guys in the next video. This is ASM Artist, signing out.